In this video, I'm going to be going over some admittedly very random and unique gifts. You might even call them strange, but hear me out because they're pretty unique and I think most of them are very useful or just really cool that most people probably don't even know exists. Or of course, you might just want to get some of these yourself. So let's get into it, and I'll put all links in the description. You can get pretty much all these right off Amazon. Now, starting off with one I bet most people have never even heard of, that is banana ketchup. And it's actually pretty good. This is really the only brand I've seen. It has a very slight hint of spiciness in there, so it's not like just a pureed, mashed thing of bananas. It actually tastes pretty good. It's not too expensive. It's like 11 bucks. It lasts pretty much forever. This one lasts at least 3 years. It's stable at room temperature. This is definitely one that I think will surprise people when they open it up and think it's pretty cool. Next, this one is good for any amateur cell phone photographers, and that is a clip-on filter ring for your smartphone. But with this one, what's important and different than a lot of other ones I see is the entire ring is open. And also it uses a standard filter thread size. You can get this one is a big one, 52 millimeters, or this one 37 millimeters. And the reason that is important is it lets you put any filter you want on it. You can buy any kind of filter in one of these standard sizes. I have a circular polarizing filter on this one. You could also buy an ND filter. There's plenty of other like professional grade filters you can buy in these sizes and slap it onto this. So you don't have to worry about just ordering one of those cheap clip-on filters from Amazon that's like garbage. You can buy like a professional grade one and put it on here if you want. So if there's someone who likes taking a lot of photos, this is definitely one to get them and explain to them the benefit of having a standard filter thread size. All right, moving on. This one is great for people who are really into science, and that is a Geiger counter. If you're not familiar, these detect radiation. They click whenever they do. So unless you're expecting to be around a significant radioactive source, the usefulness of this is debatable, but really good for someone who's just interested in science in general. The price of these is going to vary depending on the quality. This one's about $150. It's more of the prosumer type grade, but you can get them from, I've seen like $50 up to really as much as you want to spend on them. All right, next up, this one is definitely going to fit the weird description, and that is a high-end nail clipper. You're like, what? That's a thing? Yes, this is actually $18 Japanese brand SS106 model. And you might be thinking, okay, how can this be any different than like a cheap one that I might have just in the drawer? And it's hard to describe, but once you have one of these, you'll know what I'm talking about. I would say this is easily worth the $18, and probably it'll last you a lifetime. And while this is not exactly the type of gift you might want to get every person, there probably are people you know who they just like weird gifts, and this is probably a good one for them. All right, next up, another pretty random, but I would argue very useful gift, and that is a laboratory wash bottle. Again, hear me out. Basically, the purpose of this is to produce a very thin spray of water. You can put distilled water in this and then wash off stuff that normally would be maybe hard to wash. One really good example I found is the camera module on the back of my phone, like on the iPhone. These things are really hard to clean, and since they are waterproof these days, yeah, you could run it under tap water, but a lot of times the force is not really strong enough to wash it all away, whereas with this, you can literally just spray around all the crevices, and because it's a nice stream, it's more focused, and you can clean it right off. It's the easiest way I've found to clean off the camera module. And really that could apply to anything someone might have that you want to wash off with distilled water, but maybe for some reason you don't want to rub it with a cloth or something like that. Just using a tiny little stream of distilled water could help. All right, on to the next gift, which is more of a traditional cool gift, you might say, and that is a clear ice ball maker. So you may have seen ice ball molds that you just put in the fridge, but what's unique about this one is it's constructed in such a way that it actually ends up making them clear at the end, and it does work. They also make one for clear cubes too. This one actually is more clear. It's probably a better example, and it's actually a bit cheaper, so you can get either the ball or square one. Basically, the short version of it is that to make ice clear, you have it cool directionally, so basically it's insulated on the bottom, not on the top. It does work, and you can use this in cocktails, any kind of drink if you're entertaining people. It's pretty neat. It's a bit more expensive, like 45 bucks, but I have one myself and it does work. Okay, on to the next gift. This one might actually be one that you just want to buy for yourself, if anything, and that is this special type of long wrapping Band-Aid. Now, I know what you're thinking, are you kidding me, a Band-Aid? But listen, these are actually genuinely cool. They're not like a regular Band-Aid. You actually wrap it all the way around several times, and these things do not come off. And trust me, once you start using these Band-Aids on a cut or something, you're simply not going back. These are far superior. They're also not very expensive, like $6. So it's cheap enough where you could just get some for your friends and be like, hey, check out this cool thing I found, and just let them know it's a thing. All right, we still got a few more, and moving on, this next one is really good for people who enjoy sushi, and that is this Artisan Soy Sauce that's made in Japan and from one of the few people that still make it in these like aged barrels, handmade. And this is very expensive. It's like $45 for a bottle, but I learned about this from seeing some Business Insider mini documentary series about this guy who still makes this, and I thought it was super cool. It does, in my opinion, taste a lot better than regular soy sauce. So if you have someone that just loves sushi and you're willing to spend this much on it, this is definitely one that I think is really unique and I don't think many people know about. On to the next one, which would fall into more the category of just practical gifts. That is these special types of earplugs. And again, if you're thinking, what the heck? All right, just keep listening. This one is the Max Ultra Soft. These are, in my opinion, a lot more comfortable than regular earplugs. So if you have a partner or a friend that snores a lot and it interrupts the other person's sleep, these might be worth trying. Or they could also try this other one that I think not many people have ever heard of. It's these silicone earplugs that you basically stick in and they don't go all the way in your ear. They kind of plug the outside. And apparently these are also good for people who swim because it apparently, I guess, is waterproof. So if you have someone who is a swimmer, then if they don't already know about these, this might be a cool thing that they'll be very glad that you alerted them to their existence. Or of course, if you're on a plane, you might want to get these for yourself, drown out a lot of noise. They might be more comfortable if you usually don't like earplugs. And finally, we have yet another pretty practical gift, and that is these vacuum storage bags. I think a lot of people actually have heard of these, but what's cool about these ones is just how huge they go. These sizes are like literally 4 by 3 feet. They're enormous. You don't have to get this brand though. I'm sure there's tons of them out there. This is just the one I happen to get. And it's probably one of those things where a lot of people know they exist, but when they need one, they don't have them. So you could always just get this for someone who likes to have practical stuff when they need it. Now, I would be interested to hear what you guys think about this list down in the comments. Have you heard of most of these, or do you think it's just a stupid list, or maybe you're gonna get some of these for yourself? Again, I'll put all the links in the description, and if you did enjoy this video, definitely give it a giant thumbs up for the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to keep watching, another video I'd recommend is one I made a while ago talking about cool tools that most people have never heard of. That might also inspire you to get some cool gifts that might be for people who like to do DIY stuff. I'll put that link right there you can click on. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.